I guess that was God saying I shouldn't be so self-indulgent, but not much else to do. So trying to follow the Google Maps and head over to that Beit Midrash. And well, it's been a while since I've been at a Beit Midrash. Not since a lot. The Chabad shul there, where I used to spend well, sometimes like 10 hours there, because there was not much else to do. The beach was, well, what are you going to do? Stare at the relatively not so attractive women of my age, or the very attractive women of teenage or maybe close to 20-year-old age, but inappropriate for a guy of 38. And so I used to read, and then bother those rabbis. And I was answering a question. The Gemara in Yevamos on 62b, some of Beis and Beis, says that Kol Yishein Lo Isha Shar B'lei Bracha B'lei Simcha B'lei Torah B'lei Choma B'lei Tova, and Halacha says that he's Kilu Shofech Damim, as if he's like a murderer. And so I was very frustrated because A, I want to find a woman because I want to get laid. B, I want to find a woman because I want to have a family. And C, I'd like to live up to my ancestors and also not be considered a murderer. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. Say hi. No? Okay. Say hi to the camera. Okay, bye-bye. So one rabbi I asked, and I can't remember his name, although I can tell you that after everything I owned got stolen, he got a shirt for me, a white shirt, although it was a relatively effeminate shirt, from his son, who is a little bit younger than me from the looks of it. Say hi to the camera. So he answered that, what does it mean that a guy who's not married, doesn't have a woman, doesn't have any Torah? He says that his Torah isn't complete. Now, that's not a complete answer, but it's better than no answer. And considering how my life has been going for the last couple of years, it's not really surprising to me that I'm considered to have no blessings, because bouncing from homeless shelter to homeless shelter, from this place to that place, living on the street, But so sorry about that. What's kind of weird and ironic, it seems to happen on a semi-regular basis, not connected to anything else I'm talking about, is you search on Google for something, it comes up on it says a certain amount of meters or kilometers away, and then when you actually plug it into Google Maps, and it says no, it's a different distance. It's very frustrating that way, because this Beit Midrash, Google, it said it was 800 meters away in the search results, and then when I actually plugged it into Maps to chart a path there, it says it's a straight up kilometer. So, now the streets are kind of weird, but also I've never been here before. Check out that building they're building. Wow. Oh, shout out to Joseph Barrington, in case he ever watches my videos. I don't know if anybody actually watches my videos, but he, this fellow I met like 2 winters ago when I was sleeping on a bench in the old city on the steps of the Kotel, and he was kind enough to give me 200 shekel the first time we met, and then the second time we met he gave me like 50 shekels, something like that. And the next time we met he gave me like 100 shekels or something. Maybe not exactly the next time, maybe it was like the 4th time we met, 5th time. But he was quite generous compared to most people who were giving just shekels. Although, if every person that had passed me on those steps, and I don't mean the repeats necessarily, I mean every single person would have given 1 shekel, I probably could have bought my own apartment. I mean, seriously, over the course of 2 years, where I off and on occupied that same bench, millions of people passed me. Plenty of them were repeats, that's for sure. But you imagine if 1 million people give you each 1 shekel, or even a quarter. That's getting it very close to getting an apartment. Unfortunately, it never happened all at once, and weird things kept happening, like stuff getting stolen or broken or whatnot. Unexpected expenses, Like, I went to go live with a cousin for like half a year, and well, the first time I went there, his shelves were pretty bare, and I was stocking his shelves. The second time I went there, it was almost the same thing, but not exactly. And in the end, I had to move out. It was a weird incident where I was coming back from the old city one day, Old City, Jerusalem, and there was this woman having a slice of pizza over in the middle of pizza, and well, I thought she was kind of attractive, and I asked her for her name and her number, and she was a little hesitant, but she gave me her name and her number.
Turn left.
Thank you, Google. And so I sent her a message, said, "Hi, I'm Ben," or something like that. And her response was, "Hi, Ben, I'm Sarah, I'm homeless." And I thought, wow, my cousin's got this house with like 3 bedrooms vacant. Because at the time, his kids weren't living with him, his wife, ex-wife, I don't know what the story is, she was living elsewhere. And so I thought, hey, this might be perfect. You know, maybe she'll move in, she'll feel total gratitude to me, and some gratitude to him as well, or maybe total gratitude to him and some gratitude to me, and maybe eventually she'll warm up to me and want to marry me. Well, that didn't happen. Eventually she, well, first of all, the next morning she said she was like engaged to like 18 guys, and I was like, what the hell? It's like, no, I don't want anything that complicated. I want a woman who's like just, you know, single and available and loyal, and I don't know what the hell it is. Plus, she wasn't that attractive. She was, you know, acceptable, definitely. I mean, shorter than me, kind of weird, like me. And after she told me she was engaged to like 18 guys, told both of us anyways, that was like the end of it. And I kind of like closed myself off completely from her. And yeah, after about a month of living together, not me and her, I mean, it was me, her, and my cousin, and there were some other guests then now and then, and my cousin said I had to go. I don't know if it was directly connected to her, but it was definitely frustrating for both of us. So pleasant woman for the most part, I'm sure, just not my cup of tea, and apparently not my soulmate. Although, quite frankly, after being single for more or less the last 13 years, although I did have an ongoing online relationship with a woman in New Jersey for like 6.5 years that, well, culminated in 3 dates and 1 via that, well, let's just put it mildly, we were not compatible. I was trying to fit a square peg in a round hole or something like that, and plus she was not attractive to me. And the other thing I was thinking was, oh yeah, there were 2 other women since that, but they're just one-night stands. I have a very hard time maintaining relationships. I attribute that to my parents getting divorced when I was really young, my foster parents getting divorced in my teens, in my 20s, and also investing all of my emotions into my first girlfriend, my first relationship, and kind of petering out without me really having a clue how to make it work. So, yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just rambling on, which is something I used to do on a semi-regular basis. I feel like I'm talking to a friend, but you know, maybe I'm just talking to myself. And say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. Hi. I used to be a friendly guy, but then life got weird, so I stopped being friendly. I stopped really understanding what I was learning, and I gave up. So now we're walking to Midrash, which is supposedly a kilometer away, and Google seems to indicate that it's like 60 meters from here. So here's hoping it actually is, and then we'll, I don't know what. Say hi to the camera. Yeah, people don't like saying hi to the camera.
Slight left.
Yeah, I can see it's actual left, but whatever. Mitzvah Tower. I don't know what a mitzvah is. I know what a Volvo is. I know what a Renault. I don't know what a Renault truck is. In fact, I'm not even certain right now what the symbol, what a semel for Renault is, but whatever. Well, and earlier I was watching a little bit of a TV program where they were discussing the state of Israel's version of a Jew versus the rabbinic version of a Jew. And quite frankly, I was brought up, if both your parents are Jewish, you're Jewish. And otherwise, I don't know. It wasn't... For some reason, I thought till years ago that if your father was Jewish, you're Jewish. But if your mother was Jewish, you wouldn't necessarily. And that at the time of the prophet Samuel, it was changed. Well, it looks a little dangerous. But somebody corrected me and said that no, all the way back to Sinai, it was going by the mother. Just in Abrahamic times, apparently, it was going by the father. But even then, it was going by the father and the mother, really. Except in the case of the children of the concubines of Bilhah and Zilpah. But it says that the Mitaso Shlema, that the Yaakov's bed was complete, that he never wasted seed, that every one of his cohabitations resulted in a offspring. And I assume it also means that, well, it says by when Reuven moved Yaakov's bed from, I believe it was Bilhah's tent to Leah's tent after Rachel passed away, that Yaakov still had 12 children, to indicate that Reuven had not lost his position despite doing something disrespectful, at least for his stature. But that also indicating that the children of the concubines of Zilpah and Bilhah were in fact bona fide, full-fledged descendants of Yaakov, which would make them bona fide Jews.
Turn left.
The term Jew is actually not such a great term, as my cousin, who I was staying by, wanted to impress upon me, that the term Jew goes back to Yehudi, which would mean from the tribe of Judah. I can't believe I'm following Google directions, because this makes no sense. This does not appear to be leading where I wanted to lead. I think I'm going to turn off Google now and try and follow the map prep. No, I think I'm going to keep going go around here and see what I can find. Hey, construction. This country is always under construction. What was I thinking? I was thinking, I forget what I was thinking. As my 8th grade Rebbe, Rabbi Yafi, although technically he was only my rabbi for a very short time, because I hardly ever showed up to class. I preferred sleeping in and watching TV and jerking off.
Turn right.
There is no right to turn, but thank you, Google. So he had 2 catchphrases that I remember. He would sometimes say, he'd lost his train of thought, and he would go, get back on that train, get back on the train, get back on the train. And he also said, you can lead a horse to water, but sometimes you got to shoot it. It's not a very pleasant metaphor, but it's kind of what I think about most of my life. That my life I've been led to water so many times. And say hi to the camera. You don't win with most people.
Turn left.
Thank you. That was the plan. It seems to be the only... Oh, it's not the only path. See? There's a left and a right here. Say hi to the camera. Or not. Whoa! Motorcycle. Not a motorcycle. Moped. And I lost that train of thought again. Get back on the train. Get back on the train. I don't know how. And Google seems to indicate that I should turn back around. But there doesn't seem to be a turnaround. So we're just going to try and go through this path here. And hopefully it's going to lead me where I want to go. To the Beit Midrash Sadigora, under the auspices of, if I'm not mistaken, Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. All of a shalom? I'm not sure. I believe Shlomo Zalman Auerbach.
Turn right.
But I can't be certain. Google wants me to turn right. Okay. These directions are very challenging to follow. This is going to be a two-part video again, same as last night, because when I turned the phone around, I actually clicked on the power, and that turns off the video instead of, not. Hey, a lot of mopeds in this country. Well, they're not all technically actually mopeds, but they're in the style of the moped. And I am narrating a story that probably nobody is going to watch. But waste of time and effort, like so much of my life. Although, some consolation. Ethics of the Fathers, Pirkei Avos says, "Ehovas Lamlacha, love the work."
Turn left.
There is not a left here, Google. You keep giving me really bad directions, Google. Your directions are shoddy, but that might just be a left right there, in that path there. So we're going to try that. Hey, look, a building. Okay, we're going to try this. Oscar, numbers crossed out. Okay. Realty, investment funds. I don't know what Sadigora is, but that's what this Midrash is. I don't know what Shlomo Zalman Auerbach was famous for, but, it is what it is. And here's hoping I'm actually going to find it. It'd be really nice because I'd like to use the bathroom to pee. I didn't drink that much today, but nonetheless, I am like a 10 times a day peer. And,
Turn right.
okay, there is a right coming up, though. That much at least I can follow. And Google seems to indicate it's very much near me, that it's 30 meters away. So how was I 60 meters away like 100, 200 meters ago, and now I'm 30 meters away? I think Google Directions, Google Maps, is not exactly the smartest app in the world. It does not know which direction your phone is facing. It doesn't actually know which way you're walking. And I don't think it actually calculates
Turn left.
distance. See, now it says turn left. And it really isn't. I mean, there's a crosswalk here, but, that's about the extent of it. So, I turned left. Does this have to go through here? Let's see if I go through here. There's a path in front of a building, and it seems to be blocked at the end of it. Definitely seems to be blocked. But what else is new in life? Google Directions does give you good directions. And let's see what this sign says. Hatzlacha. L'chol haTalmidim, Talmidot v'Talmidim, Gam Bezum v'Gam
Turn right.
Beta Hatzlacha. Okay, turning right. Turning right. Turning right. So, not knowledge for the sake of knowledge, but I guess I'm getting schar halicha. It's a thing in halacha that if you go to the Beit Midrash, it's a longer way. You get more reward because it's a longer way. Assuming Google wants me to do this, and I seem to be very, very close by looking at the map there. But oh wow, that kind of looks like a Beit Midrash, but that might actually just be a school. Although, judging by the Hasidic Lincoln personality, it looks like I'm here. Say hi to the camera. Or not. Okay. How do I exit? There doesn't seem to be an exit. Okay. Does that have an exit at the end here? Does not appear. I think on the way back we're going to have to take a different path. That's okay. I'll plug in Google Directions and watch it mess me around again a different way. Because it's a Google Directions.
Your destination is on the right.
The destination was behind me. Okay, I think I'm going to turn off the thing here and just say goodnight, Charlie.